Hi students, once again I am here with another lesson. These days are very crucial days to us. We cannot stay out of home because day by day the number of deaths are increasing. Now what will happen next, no one knows. However, you are the students of class 10 and you have to continue your studies because at the end of the year, it means 2021, you are going to face first public exam of your life, first public exam of your life, madhyamik exam, and you need to prepare for the exam. So you cannot spare time in a neglect way. So stay at study, always prepare yourself with something, even at home or from your tutors. So today I shall read out the lesson. Some of my students have sent me, sir, please read out the lesson with analyzation, the passing away of Bapu. The passing away of Bapu by Nayantara Sehgal. This text has been divided into 3 units. So today we shall discuss the first unit. The passing away of Bapu by Nayantara Sehgal. Already if we look at the title, here we get a word, Bapu. Bapu is a very known word to us, and we all of us know that Bapu is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi or M.K. Gandhi, whom we called Bapuji, the great national leader who laid down his life to bring the freedom of this country from the British rule. Unfortunately, he was shot dead in 1948, 30th January. Here in this text, Nayantara Sehgal, whose uncle's name was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and Indira Gandhi was her cousin. So Nayantara Sehgal had seen Bapu very closely, and she was influenced or impressed by Bapu's philosophy and ideology. So here in this text, she has explored or shown what happened when the news of Bapu's death came, her personal feelings, as well as the nation's reactions, the countrymen's reactions, also hinted here. Here the text, I am reading out the first introductory lines. Nayantara Sehgal is one of the first female Indian writer in English to receive wide recognition. Very prominent, she belonged to very prominent political leaders family. As we know, her uncle was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and her cousin was Indira Gandhi, the third Prime Minister of India, and Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India after independence. So very prominent Indian writer, and her fiction deals with India's response to the crisis brought about by the political changes. So in her writings, political changes, political scenarios of the contemporary society have been highlighted. Political happenings, at the same time reactions of the countrymen, also discussed in his writings. She won the Sahitya Academy Award in 1986 for her novel Rich Like Us. তার উপন্যাস রিচ লাইক আস, এটা উপন্যাস আছে, সেই উপন্যাসের জন্য তিনি সাহিত্য একাডেমি পুরস্কার পেয়েছিলেন। So here the text, the passing away of Bapu. Here in this text, Nayantara Sehgal accounts or gave an account at the accounts of the happening occurred at the time, at the sudden or unexpected loss of a national leader. হঠাৎ একটা জাতীয় নেতার মৃত্যু, একটা জাতীয় নেতার মৃত্যুর পর মানুষের প্রতিক্রিয়া, at the same time personal reactions has been depicted here, has been narrated here, এখানে বর্ণিত হয়েছে। So the title Passing Away of Bapu not only that tells about Bapu's death, but it tells about the reaction at the sudden demise of Bapu, of Mahatma Gandhi. মহাত্মা গান্ধী যখন মারা গেল তখন কান্ট্রি পিপলের রিয়াকশন কি হলো, how they got into a silence, got themselves into a silence. They could not decide what to do. Their guardian was no more. They could not believe it. তারা বিশ্বাস করতে পারছে না যে তাদের গার্জিয়ান নেই, তারা স্থির করতে পারছে না কি করব এবারে। This generally happened when we lost our near and dear ones. আমরা যখন আমাদের নিকটের কাউকে হারাই, হঠাৎ করে মৃত্যু বা জানতে পারে, তখন আমাদের এই জিনিসটা ঘটে। We become confused, আমরা হতভম্ব হয়ে যাই। What to do? How will we pass the days now? এবার আমার দিনটা কাটবে কি করে? Who will guide us? কে আমাদেরকে পরিচালনা করবে? The same thing happened when Bapu's death. The news of Bapu's death came to the country people, or reached to the country people. But here, when we analyzed first unit, second unit, third unit, when we reach the third unit, we will find a positive note, that how country people will go on or will live without Bapu. So, going to the text. The text, an extract from Nayantara Sehgal's memoir, Prison and Chocolate Cake. তো টেক্সটটা নেওয়া হয়েছে, এক্সট্রাক্ট মিনস কোটেড, উদ্ধৃতি করে নেওয়া হয়েছে নয়নতারা সেহগালের মেমোয়ার। তো হোয়াট ইজ মেমোয়ার? Memoir and autobiography, these two words overlap one another, often used interchangeably, একে অপরের একদম নিকটবর্তী শব্দ, একাপভাষী। Autobiography relates chronological events of someone's life history, একটা লোকের জীবনী নিয়ে বলে পরপর ঘটনাগুলো, adolescence, childhood, adulthood, old age বলে, death। আর memoir also records specific relationship, specific a little bit in detailed. So you have to remember, তোমাদের মনে রাখতে হবে, so this text is an extract from Nayantara Sehgal's memoir, Prison and Chocolate Cake. So recounts the incident following the death of Gandhiji. So this text tells us, but supplies us, the incidents following the death of Gandhiji. After the death of Gandhiji, the incidents that are followed, যে ঘটনাগুলো হয়েছিল গান্ধীজির মৃত্যুর পরে, গান্ধীজির মৃত্যুর পরে যে ঘটনাগুলো হয়েছিল, it vividly describes not only the author's personal sense of loss, but also the collective grief of the entire nation at the passing away of Mahatma Gandhi. So this text recounts the narrator's personal loss, because narrator knew Bapu from his personal point of view, and also it is a national grief. So here in this text you will come across variety of emotions: loss, grief, hopelessness. So you will find here collective emotions, and even the narrator's personal, লেখকের লেখিকার ব্যক্তিগত হারানোর জিনিস। তার পাশাপাশি মহাত্মা গান্ধী জাতির জনক, জাতির নেতা, একটা ন্যাশনাল লিডারের একটা লস। After the loss, the nation's reactions, the country people's reactions has been depicted here. So let's read the first unit, unit 1. What happened on the day when the narrator heard the sad news, the unexpected loss, the unimaginable loss, the demise of Bapu, that Bapu was shot dead. I was having tea at home on the evening of 30th January 1948. Already I have told you that Bapu was shot dead by Nathuram Godse. The time was about 5:17 or something else. And the day was 30th January 1948. Bapu was shot dead. So at that time, I was having tea. Look at this. In autobiography and in memoir, the narration will be done by personal pronoun. I, me, you will find there. And already I have told you, memoir and autobiography are interchangeably used. So if someone writes in an answer the Bapu's the text has been taken from Mrs. Sehgal's autobiography, Prison and Chocolate Cake. The teacher will confer marks also. But if you need to specific, then you use the word memoir. So I was having tea at home on the evening of 30th January 1948 when I was called to Birla House. Birla House in Delhi, in old Delhi. So by an urgent telephone call, I was having tea in the evening session. The narrator was taking tea at his house. Then a telephone call came to her. She received a telephone call. What has been told in the about telephone call? Ki bola holo? Gandhi had been shot on his way to a prayer meeting. গান্ধীজিকে গুলি করে হত্যা করা হয়েছে। প্রার্থনা সভার দিকে যাচ্ছিল গান্ধীজি, তাই গুলি করে হত্যা করা হয়েছে। গান্ধীজি was shot dead. This news came to the narrator by telephone call. By telephone call, the narrator was informed that Gandhi had been shot on his way to a prayer meeting. After hearing the news, এই ঘটনাটা শোনার পরে, the narrator was numb with shock. The narrator became speechless because she knows Gandhiji very closely. So the narrator became numb, speechless, dipped in silence, could not say any word. The narrator could not say any word. Already I have told you, or we know, the author's personal sense of loss. That it suggests that the narrators had a personal attachment with Gandhiji, or known personally. So Gandhi had been shot on his way to a prayer meeting. I was numb with shock, and as I got into the car, immediately the narrator left the house, left his own house, and got into a car, made herself out to Birla House. At the Birla house, when the narrator reached, Gandhiji's relatives and followers had gathered round his body. So what did the narrator find there at Birla house? She found the relatives and followers crowded the place. They surrounded the palace and they sat around the body, dead body. There was silence in the room. There was silence in the room as Gandhiji breathed his last. So there was silence in the room as Gandhiji breathed his last. It means Gandhiji was no more. So why was there silence? The silence for the unexpected loss. None could believe that this type of happening could happen. That's why, due to this suddenness, the sudden demise of Bapu made everyone moved everyone in a paralyzed position. সবাইকে যেন অবশ করে দিয়েছে, নাম করে দিয়েছে, সবাইকে হতভম্ব করে দিয়েছে। Words of Bapu's death had spread through Delhi like a flame fanned by wind. The news spread very rapidly because it is not a normal death. Not in the sense of that he was shot dead, যে গুলি করে হত্যা করে তার জন্য নয়, because it was the death of a leader, national leader, very emerging national leader, popular national leader, noted, renowned, reputed national leader. So the news spread. How? It has been compared with a rising flame that has been fanned by wind. বাতাসে হাওয়া লাগলে যেমন একটা শিখা দাও দাও করে আগুনের রূপ ধরে নেয়, তার সঙ্গে তুলনা করা হয়েছে। তো it is an example of simile. Like when like and as like as are referred, we generally say it is a simile. Explicit comparisons is there. So the death of Bapu happened randomly, very quickly, rapidly throughout the country. Sad groups of men and women had collected around Birla house. They crowded the followers who loved Bapu, who believed Bapu, who regarded Bapu as a father figure. They gathered the house. They gathered in Birla house. Out of every window one could see a brown blur of faces. Out of every window from the Birla house one could see the pale faces, brown, suggest the frustrated, the despair faces, the blur faces, blur means pale faces of countrymen. They did not make a sound. তারা একটা সাউন্ড তার শব্দ করে না, they were all in silence because they were not in themselves. তারা নিজেদের মধ্যে তো নেই, তারা বিশ্বাস করতে পারছে না। What happened? কি হলো? That Bapu was no more, এই জিনিসটা তারা বিশ্বাস করতে পারছে না। So they were dipped in silence. Their faces were blurred. They became speechless. There was an unnatural silence. একটা unnatural silence, একটা অস্বাভাবিক নীরবতা বিরাজ করছিল। It was a normal silence, not silence. Mentally everyone is paralyzed, numbed. It was as if the time stood still for those few minutes. সময় যেন দাঁড়িয়ে গেছে। It was as if time stood still for those few minutes. কিছু সময়ের জন্য যেন সময় দাঁড়িয়ে গেছে। None could believe this type, but this happening could happen. কেউ বিশ্বাস করতে পারছে না। Okay, on the next video we shall discuss the rest portion. Okay, thank you, stay well, thank you.